Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Rooster Stone Show. Da-doom. Hey, man, how's everybody doing out there in lovely land? I'm here today with Amber. We're going to talk to you a little bit today about the songs we're listening to right now. What's spinning in the old Spotify playlist or Apple Music, whatever you use. What are some of the things we're listening to? And, just to reiterate, we would appreciate very much if you would go to our socials and tell us the stuff you're listening to. Give us an idea of what you got going on, because it might turn us on to something we don't even know about. But hey, you know what? Let's get started, man. Let's go right away. What you got for your first song today?
Ready to go. So my first song is The Feel Good Drag by Anberlin. It's from the album Never Take Friendship Personal from 2005, re-recorded on New Surrender in 2008, which I actually just learned because I was looking up the song and I always saw two different album covers on Spotify. I was like, why are there two different album covers? It sounds the same. Yeah. I learned for this podcast that it was re-recorded. So,
well, see, we did something good, didn't we?
Yeah, I learned a lot.
Yeah.
So this is a band, Anberlin, that I listened to a lot in high school. It gives very middle 2000s to early 2010s rock vibes. Mm-hmm. And this is probably it is their most famous song. I've listened to a few other ones of them, but it's awesome. I'm immediately starting to tap my foot. I'm like, oh yeah, I really get into it. I showed someone the other day when I just randomly listened to them again. I was like, oh, I forgot how much I love this band and started listening to this song again.
Right, yeah.
And I showed someone and they were like, oh, I could get really into it. So anyway, so that was really fun. The guitar solo is great. And fun fact, this band is actually often considered a Christian rock band.
How interesting.
But they're not. They've said they're not. They're Christians, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they get that connotation from the media because they're attributed to, or they're connected with Tooth and Nail Records, which I didn't know was historically a Christian label. So a lot of people think they're a Christian band and they're not.
That's interesting.
It's because they're the record label.
Yeah. Wow. I really like this song. I love all the different accents that they used. Their dynamics were super good. It was just really well produced. Mm-hmm, it was a good tune. I like that one. Excellent choice to start us off. So I'm going to take us back to 1986 because, I just do that sometimes. I'm going to go with the song Big Mouth Strikes Again by the, crazy good band, The Smiths. The Smiths were one of those secret password bands of my adolescence. We didn't have Spotify and Apple Music way back when. And largely, if you wanted to hear something new and fresh, you had to hear about it through word of mouth. Mm-hmm. So, I'll never forget the first time I heard the absolutely inimitable voice of Morrissey or the ultra-fast strumming of Johnny Marr. The Smiths are wholly unique with both their sound and their lyrical style. This song sticks out for me on this album, but honestly, so do the other 9 songs. This is a defining song and album of my youth, and it never fails to bring me all the feels. Mm-hmm. I just love this tune. Mm-hmm. What did you think of it?
I was immediately tapping my feet. The instrumentals in the background, the guitar riffs. I love the background. Randomly, the background singing. It was great choice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Morrissey just. There's something different there. Mm-hmm. So what do you got for number 2?
Cool. Number 2 is Poplar Street by the Glass Animals. This is from How to Be a Human Being, which was dropped in 2016. Glass Animals, one of my favorite bands. Really hard to kind of put a pin on what their genre is. Mm-hmm. This is kind of more of an intro to Glass Animals song because some of their songs can get kind of wacky. Mm-hmm. And I like that. It always keeps you on your toes. You never know where you're going. There's a lot of synths, a lot of bass. I love the guitar riffs. That's a big thing. That's a theme for me. You'll hear me say later in the podcast too. Oh, I love that guitar riff, Mm-hmm. And in the beginning of this song, I don't know if you got this feeling too, and I don't know why I felt this way, but the intro to this song kind of reminds me of the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah. Okay, I can hear that.
Yeah. It's kind of a mix between Californication and I'm trying to think of one of their other songs. But I immediately was like, oh, is this Red Hot?
Yeah.
No, it's Glass Animals.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so
That's
this,
so funny.
yeah, this band's from England. I tend to like English
I do too.
English rock bands. So, yeah, that's what I got for number 2.
Yeah, I really like Dave Bailey's voice. It's just like captivating. There's just something about it. And that sort of slow, drony groove of this song really gets into you. This is a great headphone song. For people that dig like listening to headphones, this is a really good headphone song.
By the way, he goes by Wavy Davy.
Wavy Davy.
Wavy Davy.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
so
It's groovy.
see?
It's great. He's a groovy dude.
See, dude, you know what? I need the youth to kind of keep me up here, so I'm not making mistakes. All right.
I was like, who's that?
Yeah.
Dave who?
Hey, Dave Bailey. Who's Dave Bailey? So for my second song, I chose the song Old Friends Die Hard from the Mysterines' 2022 album Reeling. I discovered this band while deep diving new artists a few years ago, and I was absolutely blown away by the power and ferocity of this band that hails from Liverpool, England. Yeah, the birthplace and hometown of the Beatles, right? Leah Metcalf's voice is both soulful and terrifying. The music is heavy, yet melodic. I picked this song because I had to pick one. I could have picked 20 more from this band. That's how good they are. But whenever I hear people complain that music sucks now, I think of bands like this and I shake my head. You're looking in the wrong place, boomer. If you want to get some new stuff to listen to, start with the Mysterines, man. They are going to rock your world.
And it's funny you say that because that was the vibe that I got. It's very old school rock vibes, which you don't get very often traditionally in new school rock, right? I was like, wow, what year is this from? 2022. Yeah, I was like 2022.
Yeah.
Wow.
And dude, one of the coolest things for me is because I try to keep up on new music a lot. And one of the things that I've noticed, some of the best pure rock and roll bands coming out today are female fronted. And they are awesome. There are tons of them out there. So check them out.
Yeah, ladies.
You can start, dude, pump it up.
Hell yeah.
All right. So, check out this song, Old Friends Die Hard. Check out that whole album, to be honest with you. It's fantastic.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
So what do you got for you? We're at the last song already. I can't believe it. All right. Here we are.
Yeah.
So what do you got?
So I have Tarot by Alt J from 2012.
I knew you were going to have an Alt J song on here.
I've talked about them a lot.
I know. I like, yeah.
And I also had to pick up. Album was An Awesome Wave, by the way. I also had to pick one that was more of an intro song to Alt J because Glass Animals and Alt J more than Glass Animals even, you kind of got to slowly step into them. They're very ethereal in most of their albums and most of their songs. What I love about them is that you never know where they're going to go. It's not, they're very experimental. You're listening to the song and you think it's going to go one way. A lot of songs nowadays with pop, right? This is how it goes, right? And with Alt J, you're listening and you're vibing, and then they take a completely different direction. You're like, whoa, that was awesome,
It's like U-turn.
Yeah, exactly.
I love music like that.
And then it comes back, right, to maybe what it was doing before, and then they take a completely different U-turn, right? So this is definitely another intro to Alt J song. I could go into some deep Alt J. But yeah, I love this song. I listen to this song all the time. And not ironically, but ironically enough, also from England. So I love the Brits.
Yeah, I do too. They're cued into a totally different thing than American music is, and American music is really good. I think the big difference there is American music is very good, very varied. We are a huge country, and there's tons of stuff out there. But our pop music is kind of fast food, and their pop music is actually most of the time pretty good. But dude, this song, I knew you were going to include one, and I was surprised you chose this one, but I understand now why you did it. But Joe, whatever, I hope I gave the right thing. His voice is really unique. And it's one of those things that the first time you hear it, you're kind of like, oh. And it really kind of gets into you. I bet these guys would be amazing live.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I should have said that about Glass Animals. I saw them, Glass Animals, live, and they were awesome. Awesome. I would love to see Alt J live.
Yeah.
Because, again, with their direction. I could see them doing something live that isn't even in their songs. You know, just take a different direction live.
Well, and God knows what they would do visually too.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'm totally digging on that.
We can go to a concert. We'll find one. Yeah, let's go.
All right, yeah. So hey, you know, my last song, here it is, man. I'm gonna give it to you. So I don't know how it happened, but I started digging back into this band again. I chose Are You a Hypnotist? From the Flaming Lips and their famous Yoshimi Battles the Pink Robots album from 2002. You know, so speaking of bands that are totally unique, I offer you the Flaming Lips. The first time I heard their music, I went out the next day and bought their entire catalog of LPs. And I just started at the beginning and went through. And it is one of the most enjoyable travelings through music and growth that I have ever had with a band, just because their starting point is so different from their ending point. So on this track, the combination of rock and electronica create this dreamy, powerful anthem filled with so many different layers. You know, the stark contrast to the mostly empty and meandering verse, and then the wide, spacious chorus just make your mind float away into worlds of color and magic. This whole album is great. To be honest, Wayne Coyne is a true visionary. Deep dive this band. Don't just listen to this album. I chose this album and this song because I felt like, again, it's a good starting point for people that don't know who this band is. But deep dive this band. Go back. You'll thank me later. Right on.
Yeah, I think the name really lends itself to the song too. It's very hypnotic. Terrestrial was a word that I wrote down. Ethereal. And for me, it almost felt like an ear trip, right? You know, you have the trippy, you know, visual trip, whatever, right? This was an ear trip for me.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, you know, it's very melodic. It was great. It was a great song.
And headphones, again.
Headphones, yeah.
Headphone that whole album. I mean, it really is. So there it is, man. We got 6 songs for you, 6 songs that maybe you haven't heard before. Maybe you're one of those total musical people that knew every song that we had here. Good for you. Check it out or check it out again. But don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to Rooster Stone across all social media outlets. You know, comment on the stuff that we do, man. It helps us out with the algorithm. Comment on Facebook, comment on Instagram, comment on YouTube. Leave us a like, all that stuff. But, you know, we're really happy. If you made it this far into the podcast, thank you so much for sticking around. And we'd like to offer you peace and one love. Come on over to roosterstone.com, where you can book the band for any event you can imagine. Acoustic, full band, whatever your event may require. You can also email us to take online music lessons at an affordable monthly price. Don't forget to download our original music and like, follow, and subscribe to Rooster Stone across all social media platforms. Keep rocking out at roosterstone.com.